Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Cade, welcoming the awesome Jaime Camil from Jane the Virgin, and now taking over as Billy Fllyn in Broadway, Chicago to Behind the Velvet Rope. Make sure to check him out on Broadway. He's there for 5 weeks, and he's killing it. Check it out. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Cade. All right, Jaime, what a year it's been for you, man. You're on one of the hottest shows on television. You're playing one of the most fun characters on television.
I agree. I'm very lucky because they write brilliant stuff for Rogelio.
They do.
Yeah.
He's so over the top, so crazy. The one-liners are just nuts. But it's funny because you'll meet an actor who plays an over-the-top character like that, and they can be like so reserved and so quiet, and you have such a bright and sunny personality.
Really?
You match. I love it.
Because they try to be interesting. They're
I do,
yes,
I love
I'm
it.
not that fun. Yeah, you are, don't, yeah. No, it's actually very fun. Jenny Ehrman, as you know, our showrunner, she's just brilliant. And she writes brilliant stuff for my character. So we have a lot of fun. And I think that the trick, Jane the Virgin, the trick with every single character, and not only mine, is that we come from a very sincere and honest place. And that makes a difference. Because if you are the comic relief, just like throwing pies at people's faces without any purpose or without any meaningful. Help me out, man.
You got it.
Thank you. Without any meaningful purpose, then it's just, from the nose out instead of from your guts out. And I think that's the difference.
Another character, Billy Fllyn. I mean, you're following people like Richard Gere. I mean, how cool is it? It took you 11 years to come back to Broadway. Yeah. When you get to take the lead in Chicago, Billy Flynn's one of the most iconic characters, not only in Broadway, but also in film history. Yeah. What is it like taking that over? It's
a humongous honor and a privilege to be, first of all, on a Broadway stage. As you know, I come from musical theater in Mexico, but I've done West Side Story and Aladdin and Hook and whatever. But, being on Broadway,
it's
the coolest thing in the world, and playing such a beautiful character with so much heritage and with so much history behind it. It's just beautiful. We have a lot of fun. But the most important thing about Chicago, I actually think that, the tag about the longest American running show, whatever, it doesn't help the show because the show is so relevant. It's so fresh. You watch the show and it looks like it was put in yesterday. And I love the fact that it relates only in the human factor. You don't have effects, you don't have mechanics, you don't have explosions. You just have these brilliant humans, this tour de force of talent and precision on stage. Have you been to the show?
I've seen Chicago,
lately?
Not with you in it, but I've seen it before.
You haven't seen it then.
I haven't seen the real Chicago. The real Chicago has Jaime in it.
No, but it's
an incredible show.
It's an incredible show. It's so funny. The book is so clever. Everything about the show is amazing. And I just don't want people to get discouraged because they might think it's old because, the longest American, oh my God, no. Not at all. It's such a relevant show. It's such a fresh show. It's full of good jokes, good lines, and Billy Fllyn is just one of the. It's a very fun character to play.
When you get to play an outrageous character on television versus doing a character in theater, as a performer, what's the difference for you?
Well, there are different disciplines. So each discipline has its own perks. No, theater is you have to act for the last role in the theater. As in television or film, you have to be more contained. But I think the fun thing about Billy that I think I'm bringing to the table with this Billy Fllyn is respecting, of course, the universe where Billy lives and the heritage and everything. I'm trying to put a little bit comedic timing into Billy because he has brilliant lines. Like, if Jesus Christ had lived in Chicago today and if he had $5,000, well, things would have turned out differently. He's so funny. He's so funny. So these lines, you have to deliver them with comedic timing. Otherwise, they work 100 times better if you do them with comedic timing than just like throw them out there. And I think that's what I'm putting into my Billy, which is this comic timing.
This has been such a magical year on Broadway. I've had the opportunity to interview Lin-Manuel Miranda multiple times.
We did a movie together.
He's the best.
Yeah?
Isn't he the nicest? Outside of being a genius, he's like the nicest dude on the planet.
He's the nicest. He doesn't know how brilliant he is.
He's got to know.
That's what. You're right. He
He's
knows.
got to know.
Stop fooling us
This is
around.
on the cover of Time. He's
Lin-Manuel.
got to know.
Yeah,
But
come on.
We've talked in such depth about the diversity on Broadway. I think it's so far ahead of Hollywood right now. Obviously, Latino, you're heading a Broadway show. Talk to me about being able to see such great diversity on Broadway.
It's incredible, and to see true diversity, because then you have like pretend diversity. This is like true diversity, and I have to like praise the producers, the Chicago producers, for that, because they really understand that. And I think, I mean, I'm going until July 3rd. I don't know if my run will be extended or not, but if it gets extended, I might have the privilege to work with my dear friend Bianca Marroquin, who's been doing Chicago for the past 15 years. And that will be history in the making, because it's going to be the first time that two Mexicans will be leading a Broadway show, the same Broadway show at the same time. So that would be amazing if that happens. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's a lot of diversity. I agree with you also that it's more diversity on Broadway than in Hollywood. And it's just brilliant. I mean, this country, that's what this country is about diversity and immigrants.
Jane the Virgin is another show that has led the diversity push. And it's developed such a passionate following, not just critically, but also commercially. What is it meant to be part of a show that people adore so much and characters that are adored so much?
It's beautiful. Just to be in the list of employed actors of Los Angeles, that's like, wow,
that's a win. That's a win also.
I have a paycheck coming every week. That's just amazing, especially if you have to support a family. But then on top of that, being on a brilliant show, with awards and everything and nominations and whatever. It's beautiful. And I had that pilot season, I had 3 offers. I had an offer to be in an ABC show that didn't get picked up, Narcos on Netflix.
I love that
and
show,
Jane.
by the way.
It's good, right?
Wagner is unbelievable.
And Jane, and I just read Jane, the script, and it was so luminous and so brilliant and such a well-told story. And I'm like, I'm going for this one. And probably, the clever choice would have been to be in a bigger network like ABC, but I'm like, no. This is the script that really moved me, and thank God I chose wisely.
You've had some fun guest stars.
Yeah.
Rita Moreno, who's one of my favorites.
My mom.
She's the best.
Yeah.
Another, we can say the nicest people over and over again.
Yeah.
Nicest. But Charles, I mean, talk to me a bit about being around legends like that, but also being around people like Gina, who is like one of the rising stars.
Or my third best friend in the world, Bruno Mars.
Yes.
Yes.
How cool is it to get stars
or
like
my
that on the
nemesis,
show?
Britney Spears. Yes.
It's great.
It's
She's
great.
such a fan of the show. Does it blow you away when
All
people
of
like
them. We are so privileged, because instead of like going after them and begging them to be on the show, they're like, okay, well, I love your show. When can I go play with you guys? It's like that. So it's like, whenever you want, please. So yeah, Rita is amazing. But Gina, we were talking this behind, I mean, off camera. Yeah. She's just the nicest human being that you can ever meet. And, grounded with so many recognitions and a Golden Globe and nominations and whatever. And it seems that the bigger she gets, the nicest she becomes, right?
Such the opposite of Hollywood. It's so the opposite.
Which doesn't help with us, because then we would like to be like super assholes and demand things and everything. But then when you have your lead being so nice, you kind of have to follow. Gina, come on. Step up to
Stop winning awards and get mean.
Exactly.
When you look at theater, you did theater in Mexico, as you had mentioned. How is it different doing theater in Mexico versus doing it in New York?
Huge. Well, it's in New York. There's the culture of theater. You have Broadway, and people, they actually come to New York to watch plays. In Mexico, it's a struggle. You have a play, and it's like you have to really get people to come to the theater. And in Broadway, it's part of the culture in New York.
You're over-the-top character. I love the telenovela spin. It's so great. How much fun do you have with that? The looks, the one-liners. I mean, do you just crack up behind the scenes? Like,
of
what
course.
is it like preparing for this type of character?
Oh, we don't prepare. Please prepare.
He's like, it's just me.
We don't even read the script. No, it's fun, especially for the wardrobe department. They have a lot of fun dressing up Rogelio, or I should say Tiago, throughout time. You know, the novela that he travels through. So that's a lot of fun for their wardrobe department. It's a lot of fun for the writers, because they write very brilliant and funny material for my character. But we respect the book. We respect the book to the fullest. There's not much ad-lib. Even though you would like to do like some ad-lib, you have to respect the book. That's just how Jenny likes it. So everything that you watch on the show, it's in the book.
It's incredible because you have such an enormous social media following. I mean, I think you're like 4 million on Facebook, 4 million on Twitter, 2.5 million on Facebook. And now you're making this transition to mainstream U.S. stardom. What has that been like for you?
It's a dream come true. It's just it's beautiful. It's beautiful. There's blessings all around, and you have to just be very thankful and super happy about it. And it's funny because the Latin speaking world, that's my market. So whenever I reach like a Spanish speaking audience, they're there. They know who I am. They follow my career. But now being recognized in the street by the mainstream market, by it's beautiful. Yeah,
You're awesome, man. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you, man.